Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a slightly different angle with some light shining on me from outside my office and some boxes still unpacking. Here are some random reviews out of this sucker, this box over here. Let me see how we're doing. Oh, it's got lots of other things in it. Oh, well. Now on the next shelf over here, we're filling it up and getting there. I'm really looking forward to finishing this. The problem is that you have no idea what's here on my right. The boxes just go back several layers, but we're going to make progress there. We really are. I think we're, making some sort of movement in the right direction. Anyway, so out of this box, I hauled 3 CDs, and they are rather an interesting selection, I have to say, even for my strange and quixotic tastes here. First, this is a CD I did a video about, the Carlos Chávez Piano Concerto. This is a wonderful disc. Let me see if I get that. There we go. Get the reflection out of the way. Yeah, well, what the heck here. If I take the booklet out, you can see it better. There! See? There it is. This is on Cedille, and it's an absolutely fabulous piece. It's a strange piece. It's Chávez's more sort of contemporary modernist idiom. It's rather thorny and crunchy, and I really like it. And we also get some other pieces by Chávez and Moncayo and Samuel Ziman. You can check out the video or the review on ClassicsToday.com. Actually, I think that's where the main review was, but I did mention it here too. And it's really quite lovely. The pianist is Jorge Federico Osorio with, let's see, it's hard to read this, it's dark. The Orquesta Sinfónica Nacional de Mexico under Carlos Miguel Prieto on Cedille. Lots of fun. I've listened to this like millions of times since I got it. And, the more I listen to this piece, the greater I think it is. It's big. It's a big work, 36 minutes and full of variety. And it's almost closer in style to someone like Revueltas that you usually think of Chávez, who, Chávez was the more institutional of the two, whereas Revueltas was sort of the wild, kind of crazy one. But this has a lot of wild and crazy in it. It really does. And it's just a fascinating work. So the Chávez Piano Concerto was nice to be reminded of it after about a year. I guess it's been about a year since I last listened to it. So, when it first came out, I was enchanted with it. Then, of course, you move on, especially when you do this professionally. You have to constantly listen to new stuff. And so the stuff that you may have really enjoyed gets set aside, even if you'd want to listen to it for your own pleasure. And so it was good to find this. It really was. Next, well, here's a classic. Holst The Planets. The famous one is really my reference recording for The Planets. This is Karajan with a Vienna Phil, coupled with Richard Strauss's Don Juan. And it's, they're pretty wonderful performances. I mean, the Don Juan, Karajan did with a million times, and so I don't care. The Planets he did twice, one with Berlin, one with Vienna, but this one is clearly better. First of all, it sounds better. It's a really good Decca recording. The Berlin digital one was kind of Berlin and digital, further mucked around with by Karajan himself, and it was a little bizarre. And the playing was interesting, rhythmically a little bit slack, more so than this one. And so, this is just great. I mean, they play fabulously, and Karajan is just wonderful in it. I probably because he could close his eyes and beat time, because The Planets, as I said before, is a rhythmic study. That's really what it is. And there's no. It doesn't have like crazy big luscious string things, except for the big tune in Jupiter. And other than that, it's all about like woodwinds and brass and percussion and counting. And so they do. It's that simple. And they sound magnificent as they do it. There's nothing to complain about. So this is just wonderful. And last but not least, let's see what we have here. This was wonderful. Oh, this is a wonderful discovery. Boccherini. An amazing Boccherini disc. You got the string quintet. This is like all of Boccherini's greatest hits. You got the string quintet in C, and also known as La Musica Notturna de la Strada di Madrid. Yeah, the night music in the streets of Madrid, which is really one of his most famous things. And then you have the quintet number 6 in E major, G275, opus 11, number 5. That's the one with the minuet. You know, do 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 boo do 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 boo do 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 do. And you know the wonderful thing about that minuet, I have to say, you know, people take it for granted. It's like, oh, the Boccherini minuet. But when you consider that this was written, you know, that he kind of invented the string quintet, first of all, and it was written in, oh, what was it, the 1760s or 70s or somewhere in there. And it doesn't sound minuet-y at all. It's so typically Boccherini. You know, it's not 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It isn't like that at all. The rhythm is entirely syncopated. The texture is delicate and seductive. It's muted violins with pizzicato strings. I mean, you know, the guy had such a sense of timbre. He was a pure musical sensualist. He really was. And it's not appreciated because we don't have a vocabulary to describe the structural and you know formal use of timbre as you know a musical object. I mean, we've begun to get that in association with contemporary music, but the scholars and the people who talk about earlier music just are totally unequipped to deal with a composer like Boccherini, in my opinion. They know how to deal with harmonic process. They know how to deal with motivic development, the stuff that the Second Viennese school was famous for. But Boccherini was just as great a composer, only his style was different. And no one cares. I mean, no one's bothered to codify it. So instead of just acknowledging the fact that they are ill-equipped to describe just what a great a composer Boccherini was, they say he wasn't a great composer at all, which just means not that he wasn't a great composer, but that they're stupid and don't understand him and can't describe him. That's what it means. So anyway, this is the Cuarteto Casals, and then you get the string quartet in G minor, Opus 32, number 5, and last but not least, the guitar quintet number 6 in D major. This is the one with the fandango. Now, some scholars think that the fandango is actually a separate piece. But it doesn't matter. They do it. Great. It's got the castanets. It's oh God, what a great movement that is. So this is a fantastic disc on Harmonia Mundi with the Cuarteto Casals. Again, Boccherini, and you should really hear this stuff if you don't know it. It's just marvelous. Absolutely marvelous. So there we go. 3 fantastic randomly pulled discs. Go forth and listen and keep on listening. I'm going to keep on packing them in here. See, it goes higher than that. There we go. Yay, see? Oh, look at that. We're getting somewhere. We really are. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.